So today we're going to be talking about types of cells. So all living organisms are made up of cells. Cells are the basic unit of living organisms. They provide structure and carry out certain functions. There are two different types of cell. So the first type of cell are eukaryotic cells. They're found in plants, animals, fungi, and protists. Protists are single-celled organisms that don't fit into any of these other categories. Eukaryotic cells are 10 to 100 micrometers in size, and a eukaryote is an organism which is made up of eukaryotic cells. The second type of cell is a prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells are 0.1 to 5 micrometers in size, and a prokaryote is an organism made up of prokaryotic cells. Bacteria are an example of a prokaryote. So, as we can see here, cells can be divided into eukaryotic and prokaryotic, and then eukaryotic organisms include plants, animals, fungi, and protists, whereas prokaryotic organisms include bacteria. The size of eukaryotic cells are 10 to 100 micrometers, and this is the symbol for a micrometer, and bacteria are considerably smaller, with 0.1 to 5 micrometers. So we know that eukaryotic cells are considerably larger than prokaryotic. And in fact, eukaryotic cells can be up to 1,000 times larger than prokaryotic. The key features of prokaryotic cells are no mitochondria or chloroplasts. Prokaryotic cells do not contain mitochondria, where respiration takes place, or chloroplasts, which are where photosynthesis takes place. Single DNA loop, prokaryotic cells do not have a nucleus where DNA is stored. Instead, most of their genetic material is stored in a single DNA loop in the cytoplasm. This is a watery jelly that fills the cell. Plasmids, prokaryotic cells may have one or more small rings of DNA, which are called plasmids. These plasmids can replicate, which means to have copies made, and move between cells so that genetic information can be shared. So, types of cells. All living organisms are made up of cells. There are two different types, eukaryotic and prokaryotic. So if we go down the eukaryotic line, all eukaryotic cells contain a cell membrane, a cytoplasm, and a nucleus. A cell membrane separates the interior of the cell from the environment outside. The cell membrane is selectively permeable. Selectively permeable means that it is a membrane that can control which substances move through it. If we go back to the cytoplasm, this is a jelly-like fluid located outside of the nucleus, and it is where most of the cell's chemical reactions take place. And if we look at the nucleus, this is the control center of the cell and contains the genetic material in the form of chromosomes. Genetic material, this is the material containing information stored in the DNA. Now, if we go back to prokaryotic cells store their genetic material in a single loop of DNA and may contain plasmids. They do not contain mitochondria or chloroplasts. Now, plasmids, these are small rings of DNA which can replicate and move between cells so that genetic information can be shared. Okay, so what structures could be found in a eukaryotic cell but are not found in a prokaryotic cell? Well, we know that a mitochondria is one of these structures, chloroplast is the other, and the final is the nucleus. So which of the following is true of eukaryotic cells? So, are eukaryotic cells found in viruses or are they found in protists? We know they're found in protists. We know that they're 10 to 100 micrometers in size because they're 1,000 times larger than prokaryotic cells. And are they found in fungi or bacteria? Fungi is the answer. Okay, so selecting the wrong word, prokaryotic cells do not have a nucleus. Instead, most of their genetic material is stored in a single RNA loop in the cytoplasm. Single RNA loop is actually corrected to DNA because they're prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Here are some examples. So an example of a prokaryote would be E. coli. This is a type of bacteria which is responsible for causing food poisoning. And an example of a eukaryote is sequoia trees. These are some of the largest trees in the world. The largest tree by volume is a sequoia found in the Sequoia National Park in California, which is called General Sherman. This tree is 84 meters tall with a circumference of about 31 meters. So which subcellular structures, which can be found inside the cell, are found in prokaryotic cells? So we know that plasmids, the loops of DNA, are found in prokaryotic cells. We know that it's a single DNA loop, as they have no nucleus. And we know that they don't have chloroplasts, but they do have a cell membrane. So, eukaryotic cells, we know they're found in plants, animals, fungi, and not bacteria, but protists. And they are 10 to 100 micrometers in size. Okay, great. So that's finished for now.